So a question we get a lot is about what does regenerative mean?
Mhm.
And I think it goes a little bit even deeper than that. We can get into that, but I think it goes even deeper about why regenerative. So what is regenerative and why regenerative?
Well, what is it to you?
To me, it means all the systems working together to make something better than what it was.
hmm I think I look at it as we are what we eat eats, and you can even go one or two more layers down below that. So, what is regenerative? What is regeneratively raised? Practice. What does it really mean? To me, it should almost be like restorative practices, right? Like restoring the land.
Yeah.
Today in America, we have such a highly engineered methodology for farming. It's very scientific. The inputs, and I mean, it's very calculated, and it's to the point of like maximum extraction with the minimum amount of input, right? So then what do we have? We have land that's been stripped of the nutrients, been stripped of life. And then, oh, by the way, when you spray herbicide on the land, you're killing life. It kills life. And the way that we're farming regeneratively is we're working with Mother Nature, with the land, farming with the cycles that are naturally occurring instead of against them.
Yeah. Regenerative has become a buzzword
For sure,
in
it's
recent
gonna get
years.
hijacked, no
It,
doubt about it.
it is becoming hijacked, and in a lot of the big ag world, regenerative means cover crops. It means,
That gets sprayed with a herbicide in the spring.
and then just tilled back into the soil. Yes. For a lot more small farms that are doing regenerative practices, it means soil health. It means moving animals. It means building the biodiversity of your in your land, whether that's the plants or the animals, the insect life. It means so much more than just one. When you're cover cropping, it's everything's still mono. It's still one.
Yeah,
It's one species.
no diversity.
Yes, and then the one species that was there, any type of diversity you had growing, you're killing it when you spray it and then you till it back in. So with a small regenerative farm, it means everything working together to make it better than it was before.
Yeah, well, we see that right now with our 75 acres down the road that we bought 5 years ago or so, where it was monocrop for 30 years, corn, soy, corn, soy, corn, soy. And when we went out there after purchasing that land, there's still corn stalks on the land,
Hmm.
but beyond the corn stalks, there was no grass, there was no vegetation, there was no life. I remember we put a shovel into the dirt and found no worms, nothing.
Yeah.
So I think the problem is it actually really starts beneath the soil, right? So often we look above the soil at the plants that are growing, but life is actually beginning below the soil. And you know this better than I do with your biology background, but there's a whole lot of life activity that's going on in a healthy environment beneath the soil.
Yeah, that's where the nutrition starts. That's where, with the mycorrhizal fungi that lives there, that system, that's where it's feeding the plant, and that's what creates nutrition in the plant is under the soil, and that's where the true regeneration is building that microbiome in the soil, and that's what's building nutrition in the plant. And then you build the nutrition in the plant, and on our farm, the plant isn't the end product. The end product is the animal we're raising.
Mm-hmm.
So then the animals are eating that plant, and the more nutritious of the plant, the more nutritious their
Yeah,
meat is going
totally,
to be.
totally. I think you shared this with me before, and I don't remember the numbers are off the hand, but I know that food today, even like vegetables, way less nutritious than what they were 30, 40, 50 years ago, right?
Mhm.
Why is that? I think it's exactly what you're talking about. When we come through and we're spraying, I mean, Roundup's not that old. It hasn't been around for that long,
It really became more popular in the 90s with the Roundup Ready crops.
right? So most of society today only knows that as the terms of the reality of food production. But before that, that wasn't happening. So now we have this really highly sophisticated engineered system of, planting, cover crop, spraying it, killing it, no-till drill, boom, hit it with nitrogen and whatever. Uh, those are chemicals. Those are all chemicals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, restoring land regeneratively, we're moving our cattle on our pastures every single day. And honestly, during the summer, even in the wintertime, we're doing when we don't have pasture that's growing because we bale graze, but we're still moving our animals. Why are we moving our cattle every day? What does it do? Well, for one, the animal's moving, which is good for their health. Two, they're displacing urine and feces, their manure, right? It's going on the ground. That is fertilizer. That is natural fertilizer.
Mhm.
That is the cycle of life. They're eating, plant from that field. It's going through their body, and then it's coming back out onto the land, which will ultimately restore that land even further. And we see it walk through our pastures. This year we were in drought. Pretty bad drought this summer. Again, not much rain at all. Had some rain in the front end, and now we're getting it, on the back end. But we still had pasture. We were still grazing all summer long with our animals when other people are already feeding hay.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Right. And at this point, we're at the point now this year where we're grazing farther into the season, way farther than we were able to last year, because our soil and our plants are even healthier than they were last year.
Totally. Last year was September 1, and we were already feeding completely hay to our cattle.
That's regeneration. That's building our soil health and building our plant health, which in turn builds our animal health.
We do our pasture walks with people when they come out, once a month in the summer when we host these, and I think they see you and I get excited about like pointing out at grass, and we probably look like dorks, whatever. I don't care, but it's because we see the change happening.
Yeah.
It's not just a linear; it's a compounding change.
Mm-hmm.
So that there's animal management practices that really can have a positive impact on the land. And so we're not taking from the land; we're giving back to the land while raising a really clean, healthy protein for human consumption. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I think that also explains the why we chose to raise animals regeneratively. At first, I just thought it was going to be pasture raised was the term. We started with chickens and pasture raised, but I didn't understand that by raising chickens pasture raised, that really meant we're raising them regeneratively because we're moving our chickens every day, and in turn, that's the soil behind them, the plants behind them are even healthier and stronger because of the manure from the chickens.
Yeah.
And it's not remaining on one spot where you're having manure buildup and it's becomes toxic in that area, like we experience with CAFOs, which are confined animal feeding operations. When we have CAFOs, we have issues with manure where we have too much of it and we don't know what to do with it. And it's concentrated and it's really harmful to our environment.
Here's our ironic thing with CAFO is that they have to have heavy equipment, machinery, diesel fuel to go out and clean all manure out of those barns. Yeah. And I understand why we have growing barns. And again, it's not because it creates a better product. It's not because it's better for the animal. It's not because it's better for the environment, the land. No. It's easier for less people to manage that operation. So it comes back to the ease for the farmer.
Which
right?
creates cheaper food.
Which creates cheaper food. Then they're using more drugs because animals are raised in barns. So anyway, going back to regeneration, our animals are moving on land. So we don't have to collect the manure. They're disposing of it for us. They're placing it down on us. And when that animal, when that beef cattle is walking around and its tongue is swirling around and grabbing blades of grass, it is releasing
enzymes
into that plant,
yeah,
which promotes and fosters regrowth and health and vitality.
Mm-hmm.
I get excited about it. I think that's one of the coolest things to see happening. And I'm excited about it because I'm out there a lot and I see it. Like this year, we started doing a little bit of bale on rolling during the summertime. And what did we see?
That's been probably one of the
It blew me away this year.
One of the coolest things to watch. I was a little skeptical.
I was skeptical too.
Yeah, especially with how dry it's been. I didn't think we would have the impact that we would have. So bale and rolling is when we hook up a bale to the back of a tractor. You can do it other equipment. You can use a quad or whatever. But
you can unroll by hand.
So you unroll the whole bale along where the animals are at, and then the animals can eat on it, and it's on top of the grass. And what does it do? Why do we unroll a bale?
It actually does multiple things. One, the animals do eat it, but not all of it. So we're leaving behind some hay, which some people would call waste. It's not waste at all. So on our farm, we've had no synthetic fertilizers since we've been raising animals. We don't put fertilizer down. The animal is trampling that hay on the ground. They're eating it. They're pooping and peeing around it. But what's also happening is that leftover hay is creating organic matter. It's creating cover for the soil. When the sun hits bare soil, I think above 97 degrees, 90 degrees, somewhere around there, the plant stops growing. So the more protection we have, that hay that's protecting the sun from hitting that soil, is keeping the soil moister with more water in the ground there. The organic matter is increasing, and for each percentage of improved organic matter on the field, it's like 20,000 gallons per acre more of water retention. So if we can keep, especially in a drought, if we can keep that water stored in the soil, our plants can thrive even when there's not rain.
So what's the result that we've seen from Bale and
We
Orlando?
have these bright green strips of grass. And it's cool because now our cattle have gone around our whole farm, a whole 75 acres, and they're coming back to some of these spots. And even the spots where we bale grazed from winters past, they are thriving.
Yeah.
They are a biological hotspot of activity.
Yeah.
And the animals, I see the calves. The calves always run underneath the fence wire. We do it on purpose. The calves get the best forage of everybody. And they're smaller, so they can just run right underneath of it. But that's where they're going. That's the pasture they're eating first.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you? Animals are going to select the best thing for them. I mean, they're just naturally going to do it. Like as far as what tastes really good, what is really good, what's supporting their health and their growth.
Yeah. When allowed to do so.
When allowed to do so.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing that happens that you see in that, in those areas where that really green grass grows, when you get up close to it, this is the hardest part to share with people because you have to have boots on the ground to see it.
How thick it is.
Yes, the individual
Yeah.
blades of grass are thicker.
It's a totally different plant.
They're twice as long as the grass next to it. So I always think, okay, so now we have this strip that we can feed more cattle on this strip than we can on this strip next to it.
We have greater carrying capacity
Yes.
on our farm for more animals.
Yes. So each year that we do that and make our soil healthier and stronger, the more animals we'll be able to raise on that same amount of land.
And by the way, the more animals we have on that land, the more nutrients we're putting back into the ground.
Yeah.
And that is, to me, that is what regenerative farming is all about. The cycles of nature.
Mm-hmm.
The plants feed the animal feeds the plants. This is never ending. And then ultimately we benefit from it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And then inside of that too, I feel like we have our own little ecosystem on our property because some of the land around it is monocrop, but our land is, we can build our own. It's a large enough piece of land, it's 74 acres, and we can build our own ecosystem in there. So we have sandhill cranes growing, we have coyotes that live there, we have groundhogs. It keeps itself in balance. We want to have all those things there because it keeps everything balanced and it keeps our system healthy.
You're talking about that. This made me think back when we purchased the land. We walked out there, and what did we see in here?
Nothing.
Nothing.
It was quiet. No bugs, no birds.
And we went out a few weeks back, like 2 weeks back, you and I. And what'd you say to me?
It was noisy. Yeah, it was noisy. I was taking video, and I was like, "Man, it's almost like you need some earplugs in here. It's so noisy."
Because there's life.
Yeah.
There's life in so many different facets. There's life, right? And like you said, you got to see it. And for us, we're honored that we've been fortunate to experience that transition from not having a healthy field to having a healthy field full of life, both above and below the ground. Now, when we break a shovel into the ground, what do we see? Worms.
Yeah.
Above the ground, what do we see? Birds have come back. We've had species of birds that I never even knew existed. What was the one this year? Bobolink?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're creating a habitat. A byproduct of what we're doing is we're creating a habitat for nature as well to coincide with this. You talked about the cranes. They've definitely come in. Lots of different animals are living on that land, not just animals that we were raising for food production. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It makes me feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Which we're not doing this to make us feel good. We're doing this because we believe in what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a different way to farm, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the question that we get asked a lot? Can this methodology of farming,
can we feed the world?
Can we feed the world? And what's our answer? We're not trying to feed the world.
No. I think it's totally unfair to ask the American farmer to have to feed the world.
And first of all, feeding the world, why are we raising the amount of corn that we are for ethanol?
We raise so much corn in our country that we have to find places for it to go.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Which completely goes against the factors of regeneration.
Yeah. So what is regenerative farming? It's farming with the cycles of nature. Farming with nature, not against it.
Yeah, it's leaving the land better than you found it.
Yeah.
But it's leaving the land better than when you first got it.
It's leaving everything better.
Yeah.
Everything's better. Our health is better. The animal welfare is better. Our animals very seldom get sick. Very seldom we have an issue. It's very rare that we have an issue.
Yeah. And then I think one of the most exciting things about it is like there's no end in sight to where we can go with it. Every year we can continue and continue and continue to make it better and stronger and healthier. And we'll continue to be able to raise more animals, and our animals will be healthier. It's the opposite of what's happening in the conventional system, where every year is becoming more depleted.
Yep.
They have to come up with
diminishing returns.
Yes. They have to come up with new solutions. They have to come up with new ways to get the same amount out of that land because they've continued to take more out of it.
Or a new drug because antibiotics no longer work.
Yeah. Right.
It's crazy. It's crazy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, with our land, we had a big section of woods in the middle of our 2 fields, maybe 5-6 acres of it was really thick woods, right? And so what did we do? We ran our hogs through those woods, and they cleaned it up for us.
Yeah.
We didn't have to run chainsaws and tractors and equipment in there. And we have a tractor. I'm not saying like we're tractor free. And I love tractor time. I love tractor time. But we're using animals, and the hogs in a natural environment is the woods. They're a forest animal. They thrive in it. So they're rooting through, I was just out there yesterday. They're rooting through the woods, eating tons of acorns right now. Oh, and walnuts or hickory nuts. I mean, whatever. They're crunching a bunch of stuff out there. They're thriving. They clean up those woods. And then what we're able to do is run our cattle in the woods, both in the summertime when it's super hot, when we have 90 to 100 degree days. We can get them out of the sun. We can run them into the woods naturally. In the wintertime, if we have bad storms, not just cold, but when you have got like that sleet mixture, that real wet, nasty stuff, the wind, we can get them out of that. We can put them in the woods naturally. They don't have to be in a barn. Animals are not meant to be in a barn.
Right.
Animals are not meant to be in a barn.
Yeah. By putting animals in barns, you have more issues than the unexpected issues.
Yeah. A lot of it comes from moisture.
Right? Moisture and stale air. Yes.
Yeah.
So if people want to know more about regenerative farming, I feel like we're just like the icing on the cake. There's so much talk about this. There's so much talk about label claims and nutrition and and different practices, regenerative practices, and there's so much really awesome things going on in our country.
Yeah. Can I just add one thing here real quick? I think there's many regenerative farmers that are farming differently.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that one is right and one is wrong. We're not saying that our way of farming is the right way or the only way. That's not it at all.
Yeah.
The situation dictates. The land dictates. What you're trying to accomplish. But there's a lot of different methodologies of doing that. Go experiment. Find out what works for you and your operation and your farm and your animals and your desired end goal.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't want to be like put into this corner like that. We're this purists. Like we our way or no way. That's not the case at all. What we're saying.
Yeah. But if you do want to learn more, one thing we do here is we share information.
Yeah, that's really what we set out to do when we built this company. What do we say to each other? We're an educational company.
Right.
We want to just raise awareness.
So we have a newsletter you can sign up for every single week. I send out. It's a lot of it's about education, about regeneration, about farming, about just what's going on in our country at the food supply. We have a YouTube page. We have social pages. There's lots of ways for you to get involved.
Yeah, go onto our website, pastures.com, sign up for your email. It's okay if they don't buy from us. Obviously, we'd love for people to do it, but get educated first. Start asking questions. Start learning. Because once you start that movement of learning and educating yourself and discovery, it doesn't end there. You keep going. You want to find truth. You want to find what's best for your health, for your family's health. What's best for the environment. What's best for the animals. All those things matter. So they can sign up for an email, get your email. Your emails are great. They can sign up for other companies too. That's fine. We're not hard selling anybody. That's not the point. If someone doesn't want to purchase from us, that's fine. Read the emails. Learn something. Have a conversation with somebody. Have the break room conversation with an employee, a fellow employee. Have dinner conversation with friends. Just having a conversation around this. I think the more that as a society we understand how our food is raised and how it could be raised, I think that's where change happens.
Yes. Learning where your food comes from.
Know your farmer.